Nicholas Burns was U.S. ambassador to NATO and undersecretary of state for political affairs under President George W. Bush. He's now a professor at Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. Let me ask you this question. On the one hand, this is a major breakthrough. On the other hand, as Holly mentioned, North Korea has reneged before. Former Secretary Gates, Defense Secretary, said, "I'm tired of buying the same horse twice," when talking about North Korea. So where do you see this recent move?
You know, I think you have to say, in a way, John, it's positive that the president and Kim Jong Un are turning toward diplomacy. We were on a collision course with North Korea. There was a possibility of a war with unpredictable and potentially catastrophic consequences. So if there's going to be a period of the next 2 or 3 or 4 months of diplomacy, I think that's positive. The problem is this is a big gamble, because as you've been seeing, the North Koreans violated their agreement with President Clinton, violated their agreement with President George W. Bush. I was in both administrations and saw that happen. Kim Jong Un is in a very strong position. He has nuclear weapons. He's made progress on his ballistic missile and nuclear tests. He's just about maybe on the verge of having the capacity to achieve a nuclear weapon that could hit the United States. So what are his motives here? He wants legitimacy. His father and grandfather did not meet with an American president going all the way back to the 1940s. He wants legitimacy. He wants sanctions relief. I think he'll be open maybe to negotiating some transparency about his nuclear weapons. I don't think he'll give them up. So for the president, our president, this is going to be about as difficult as it gets and a major gamble.
There's an interesting piece by Victor Cha this morning in the New York Times that says actually that gamble, which you talk about, that this could actually bring the two countries to the brink of war if there is failure in these talks. Play that scenario out.
Well, normally what we do here, Norah, is any prior American government, you start with lower-level talks, the secretary, and higher level, the Secretary of State would be involved. You'd really want to test whether the North Koreans are serious, whether they're willing to dismantle their nuclear program before the president gets into a room with an historic room meeting with the North Korean leadership. If President Trump and Kim Jong Un fail in their summit efforts, there's really nowhere else to go. That then could drive us back towards thinking about a military option to stop the North Koreans from developing a nuclear weapon that can hit the United States. So that's where the gamble is. And there's no track record here. Kim Jong Un hasn't met with the Chinese leadership. He's not met with a South Korean leader, much less the American leader.
And as you know, the president doesn't have a deep bench of advisors. The top negotiator is leaving. We don't have an ambassador to South Korea. How concerned are you about that void? And I'm being completely serious here. Could we see Dennis Rodman even coming in and advising the president about this upcoming meeting?
Well, this is very serious. The State Department has been dismantled. You have no American ambassador in Seoul, no North Korean expert. Our greatest expert just left last week. So you don't have a bench. You don't have the talent that you'd normally have because President Trump has forsaken the State Department.
All right, Nicholas Burns, always good to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.